Hello everyone, my name is Kurazarrh, and welcome back to Sunless Sea. We are here, apparently, even though we are in port and not paused, our hunger keeps ticking up, so I'm going to go ahead and pause. Welcome back to the game though, everyone. We are picking up right where we left off, with heading out on our next adventure. And I think what I want to do here is we're going to start preparing for our next captain. Because this is a roguelike game, or rogue-lite game, where when you die, you get to pass on certain things to your next character, who otherwise then starts fresh. And there are some things you can do to gather resources to purchase specific items and things you can then pass to your next captain to make them more powerful, to give them more resources to start, and so on. And that's actually the reason that we have a shrouded past. We are a shadowed stranger right now. We don't have a name yet. And one of the things that we can do is we can get an item that will increase one of our stats if we keep this lack of identity and complete a particular set of missions. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And I want to try to get basically as many of the stat boosting items as we can in kind of the first captain here, so that our second captain can start fairly well off, have a lot of higher stats than we have right here, and that way we can possibly push toward the end of the game with our second or third captain. So we have a decent amount of fuel here. I think we're good. We have plenty of supplies. We are really stocked up on supplies, so that's pretty good. I think we should go ahead and just launch. So, as I mentioned in the last episode, the north, west, and south portions of the map, the edges of the map, are all static. They never change. It's the areas in between those and off to the east that do change. And there are different sort of sections of the map where within each section there's a certain amount of randomization that goes on. And so we are going to head a little ways away to a place called the Salt Lions, if we can find it. And the Salt Lions will let us buy basically these things we can sell in London, and if we sell enough of them, then we can get a really cool item to pass on to our next captain. Now right here we have a light ship we can dock if we want, after we unpause. And this is a place where if we need fuel, we can grab it. Not sure why it's so close, but twice the price, or why you wouldn't just go back to London to get it, but whatever. We can speak to the crew. If we have recent news, we can unload it here, and they will give us a Z story. I generally think that's worth it, so we're going to go ahead and do that. But that's all we can do here, so let's go. And again, we are going to be picking up fragments and trying to get levels to get secrets. What have we out here? We have a ship, an enemy ship. Ooh, this is a big ship, isn't it? That's a 3-stack steamer. I don't want to tangle with them too much. Let's see if we can sneak on by. And we're still close enough to home that our terror is pretty low. Ooh, oh, they spotted us, I think. No, they did not. Okay. Whew. What is this out here? Let's go visit. This is not the Salt Lions, but it is good to stop in every port you see, of course, and get your port reports. Ah, Brigadier's Mourn. And something awaits you. Perfect. We've been at sea for a minute. Let's go ahead and dock here. The Mourn is a stalagmite vast as a crag, and its foot has no safe harbors. And yet here we are, in the safe harbor. Okay. Well, let's start at the top here. We can drop off the Gust Travel Writer. Here's our payment, Mumble. I'll be back by the evening bell. We'll discuss my next destination then. Okay. So they gave us a good number of echoes. The travel writer sets across the planks with good speed, his briefcase in his hand. It seems heavy, although he claimed it held only documents and writing equipment for an interview with a pirate king. The day passes relatively peacefully. There are brawls, but in good fun, the blood washed away by celebratory beer. By night, the boisterous cheer has given way to whispers about an uncommonly brutal murder, executed within an experimental shipyard. They say you couldn't enter the yard without stepping in the victim. The travel writer returns. He greets you with a curt nod as he boards your ship. A second request. Let's see. The august travel writer flips through his notebook on your deck. Awful thing, that murder. Commonplace here, I suppose. Fortunately, my interview was illuminating, and my business on the morn is complete. We can depart. I have another port to visit. If you'd care for another 150 echoes, sure. Splendid. The travel writer snaps his journal shut like a trap. The Command Canal next, I think. That's a good one to go to, actually. Alright, let's see. We don't have an evening here, because we need more terror, I assume. Yep. We can explore the morn without something awaits you. Let's get... Ooh, you know what? Let's not get a port report, because I think if we fail, bad things might happen. But let's overhear rumors of a pirate poet. Some say she's a clay man who freed herself with the power of verse. Possible. Others insist she's the personal muse of the king with 100 hearts. Unlikely. One claims she zails on a living ship made of the still screaming skulls of her victims. More sober voices mutter that no, it's just an Alcaeus-class vessel. Whatever the truths, few have fought her and survived to tell the tale. Only the bravest of captains risk the lonely parts of the Zee where her flag is set to fly. Okay. Let's see. I think we can pay the loitering docker for his strategic information. Pay the difference 5 echo? You bet. That is worth it. This is actually very handy to have. And I think with that, we're going to explore the morn. There's a surprising quantity of actual landscape on the morn. It's vertical, admittedly, but once you find the beast paths and urchin roads, you can traverse it as you would a rocky moor, with an additional throatful of lurching terror. A glittering eye. You turn, and there's a long, lank brown man at your shoulder. Listen, he says, I have a story for you. Let's see. If we had a tale of terror, we could be like, no. Uno reverse. Something about the graybeard compels your attention. Sure, why not? Ah, nice. Okay. So we lost 2 echo. We got a tale of terror. Pretty cool. His story has a wedding full of murders in a leafless forest, and a vast serpent which eats souls. The tale winds on, like the serpent, until you are lost in the dizzy toils of its sinister ships and its glamorous corpses. You nod awake. He's gone. But not, it seems, before searching your pockets for small change. Ah, the 2 echoes. Of course. Let's see, we can buy fuel for a whopping 30 echoes. No. We can buy solace fruit. We can also go to the friendly face where we can sell various things here. None of which we have. So let us continue our search for salt lions. Hey, we just got another secret. Nifty. Now, if we use those secrets to talk to the clattery air, we can get hearts. But hearts, like I said, is not the most important stat. Most players will agree that veils and mirrors are the most important, with veils possibly being more important than mirrors. At least in the early game. Later on, mirrors takes more precedence because it increases the speed at which you gain firing solutions, and therefore your DPS goes up. There's something down there, it looks like a giant crab, I'm gonna guess. Let's see if we can get close. Yep, giant crab. Probably wreck us if we get too close. Oop, light off. There we go, light back on. When you are in the area of something like a buoy... Oh, nice. Sorry. This is the salt lions. This is a great route. But when you are within an area of light or close to shore, you get a buff to your terror that decreases the amount of terror you take. So if we slow down, we get up to here. We should see Yes, our terror turns green and will start going down, or at least stopping. So this is going down here. So, yep. Let's stop in here. And we're going to dock. And we are at the Salt Lions. There's no shop here. We have a few things we can do. We can compile a port report. Of course, let's do it. We can visit the Unmakers. We have something awaits you. Muscular pick-wielders rest on camp stools watching you approach, passing hip flasks around. An unctuous overseer beckons you to sit. Sure, why not? We get funding from the bazaar, it's true, but Station 4? No, I wouldn't call it Station 4. It's a little grandiose. The stones are stuffed with secrets, but most of them are used as garden statuary, or occult ballast. Most of them. Some go down to the places under the bazaar. More tea cakes. So we've lost 5 terror, which is good. We've lost our something awaits you, and we've gained a single fragment. Okay, 1 XP. Now this is the reason we are here. We want Sphinxstone to take to London. And we're going to do this a few times. And on the final time, because there's sort of a randomized number of times you can do this, on the final time, we will then gain something that we can pass to our next Z captain, and we can then choose our own background and an ambition. So let's go ahead and let's take this. We have 20 Sphinxstone, and we only had, let's see, we had 17 cargo taken up, so we should now have, what, 3 left out of our 40? Yep, 11, 6, and 20. So that cost us, what, 150 echoes, I think? Or 200 echoes? We will now be able to get a lot more back when we deliver this. So let's get on our way over here. We're going to basically beeline back to London, although it might actually be worth it to go like one sort of space south. The map is kind of a grid. Oh dear, don't want to deal with that crab. But the map is sort of grid-like. No, stay away. Go away, go away, go away. Keep going away. The map is kind of grid-like, so you will generally find that going in a cardinal direction from a particular place, you will find more things. Usually, but not always. Let's get down here. We'll turn our light on eventually. And let's see, we are not too bad. Almost halfway across the map. Let's go ahead and let's turn west again. Because again, the more things that we discover, the more XP we get. So, light buoy down here. Something else down here in this corner. Probably more light buoys. Ooh, what's that? That is, I think, a friendly ship. I think the blue ones are, like, they're neutral. I wouldn't say friendly, but they won't attack you on sight. But yeah, it is quite lonely out here on the Z. It says we're low on fuel. I don't think we are. Ah, what's down here? Here's something new. We should get some fragments for this guy. Maybe. Maybe not. Fair enough. I love all the creepy music and the subtle whirls under the water. The strange stone formations. Let's see, we're going to be south of London here. Okay. If you end up fighting any creatures or ships, places like this are actually really handy to fight them around because they'll kind of stay away from land. So you can kind of kite them a little bit and slip between and near islands and kind of get away. Let's see, we're getting pretty close to the western landscape here. And actually, this might actually work out. I think the command canal should be pretty close down here. And our passenger wants to stop there. Yeah, here we go. Little ships throng the waters here. The crew grow wistful. They swap old stories of Sunless Sea. We draw near to the Cumaean Canal, the way to the surface. So, as I said, we are below London in this game. And so there is a surface, but we are kind of a sort of an evolution of people who really can't stand sunlight, really. So we live down here instead. Okay, let's stop here. I think we need to go down here. Here we go. Just got another secret. Kill our lights since we're close to a port here. And let's go ahead and we'll dock. Okay. Let's trip off the travel writer. Okay, here's your payment to get 150. The travel writer sets swiftly into the port, his briefcase hanging easily at his side. In the middle of your afternoon tea, a crowd rushes by the cafe. They gather at the foot of a lamppost, gawking, shrieking, gasping. A woman is strung from the light, her face sliced like Venetian blinds. Oh, that's pleasant. Heavens, a pale navigator whispers. Isn't she the explorer? Said she meant to plant a flag on the Z-bed? No one replies. You spy the travel writer in the crowd, frowning. We got money and a final request. Okay. He wants to go to... He doesn't say yet, okay. About 200 echoes this time. All right. Sure, where are we going? Khan's Heart. Well, we'll get there eventually, I guess. Okay. So, if we had a bunch of supplies and a lot more fuel, we could go to the surface as long as we didn't have too many yearning, burning menaces. Let's see, we can gather information for a port report, of course. Check shops, we can buy fuel at a somewhat higher price than back home. We can make it to London on 7 fuel, no problem. So let's go ahead and let's listen for surface gossip. What do we have? Ooh. Daylight. This would be a prime spot for a pub or wine shop, but the interests of the Echo Bazaar and the laws of London prevent it. They don't like competition. Still, there are temporary, half-legal hostelries in long-moored ships. Here you trade stories of suntanned surface sailors, stories of Paris and Batavia, of the lost fires in the final isles. And we got a vision of the surface. Interesting. It looks like we could take this to Vendorbyte. Ah, okay. Well, let's launch and let's get up to London. And we will kind of hug the terrain along the way to try to get as many fragments from things we can discover on the land here. And yep, definitely need a new engine because this thing is just... it's so slow. Now, on a... Ooh, are you... Okay, you're friendly. When you buy bigger, badder engines, you do use more fuel. However, you also move at a proportionally higher rate. What is... Oh, a crab. Okay. I'm not sure they can see us yet or anymore. They kind of know that we're here. Yeah, you're still following us. Kind of. So yes, so we would use more fuel, but it would be proportional basically to the distance we travel, not necessarily the total output of the engine. So, at least on one ship, on the same ship, it's sort of a wash. You get there faster, but you use more fuel. But you don't use any more fuel than you would using a smaller engine, which does mean, again, we get to save on supplies. Cha-ching! Home waters. But yes, a new engine would go very nicely with everything else we have. And it looks like we could stop here on the way. So we haven't been here yet. No, don't smash into that ship. Oh my, this is really Really foggy here. Let's do the all clear. Let's stop in here. Mutton Island, okay. Any shops here? No. Alright. Quaker's Haven. Once the simple fishing village was part of the London suburbs, before London fell and the waters rushed in. Okay. Let's see. We have a few things we could do. We can wander the shore, chat with fishermen. Ah, we get a port report. Okay. Fuel and supplies are expensive here, as basically everywhere that isn't fallen London. And visit the hilltop above the town. That might be worth it, actually. Oh, neat. Okay. There's not much wind on the Unterzee, but an island suffers eerie gusts and buffets from an inexplicably local fragment of weather, and the air on the hilltop sometimes carries interesting scents. Toasting on the wind. You stand on the cliff top looking over the little village. Smoke from the chimney of the Cock and Magpie drifts straight upwards. Sorry, magpie. As you watch the smoke tilts, the sudden wind thins it to a pencil smudge, then nothing. The wind screams unexpectedly, like a god cut in half. What a noise! It must be the caves around the island channeling the air. At least that's the most comforting explanation. Below you, the locals each take nips from a shared flask and make a toast towards the mainland. The wind is a southerly. So we succeeded at Page's challenge, okay. We got 2 terror, alright. And we got 8 fragments, so not really worth it, I don't think. Let's see. We can pick up a wretched Mog for 3 supplies. Nope, I'm good with that. Let's get a port report. Cost 1 echo. Cool. And we can get some drinks, sure. We lost 1 terror for 20 echo. That was a terrible deal. That's okay, though. Alright, good to know that this is here. But let's get back to London. And we will turn in our Sphinxstone. Choo choo. I'm sitting here scrolling trying to zoom in and out, but there is no zoom in this game. Unless you change the resolution. I would like to get another officer, so it might actually be worth hanging out outside the port for a minute or so. Oh, I think when they disappear, they're actually, like, disappearing for real. They're not just disappearing into the mist. So we shouldn't smack into them or anything. I would very much like something awaits you. Hey, there we go. Now, we aren't carrying any illicit goods, so even if we are searched by the authorities because of our suspicion menace, then they won't find anything illegal, so it's fine. Yep. So, let's see. We can gentle encouragement if we have a lot of money. Wow. Okay. We have no firkins or red honey, so yeah. And we are now no longer suspicious, according to them. The Ministry of Public Decency, I love that. Okay. Let's go see what the Harbor Master has for us. So the Blind Bruiser attends to business on the dock. And we get basically the usual stuff. Cool. Let's see. Good evening, Mumble. And what a marvelous evening it is, if you don't mind my saying so, and given it is my impression you are an obliging sort, I imagine you will not mind at all. Alright, buddy. And since you are so very obliging, perhaps you wouldn't mind making a little detour via Mount Palmerston with a few articles of cargo, if you happen to be in the area. The cheery man will, of course, cover your expenses for this trifling inconvenience. We need 1 unit of cargo space in the hold. Let's see. Mount Palmerston. Sure, why not? Ooh, an unstamped crate of brilliant souls. Yep. We gotta get out of here. So this is one of the illegal things that the authorities can find and take from you. So we have to go northeast of London, so we'll probably want to do like a loop. If I can bring up the menu, I cannot. Let's close this. So we can probably do like a loop, go up here, check out Mount Palmerston if it's up here, and then go south to the salt lines again on our next loop. But for now, let's pause, bring up the gazetteer. A tattoo parlor. Really interesting. So we can increase a stat. Huh. Well, that's pretty cool. That might be worth doing at some point. I would like to get a move in the Great Game because, again, pages is really hard to increase. But it might be better to pass on veils or mirrors to our next Z captain. Costs 1 echo. Sure. Let's do veils. Yeah. All right. So we have someone wanted to sign on. Where was that? A new recruit who awaits us. The genial magician, the tireless mechanic, or a new regular crew member. We need more officers. Let's see, the magician is a... I'm not sure. Is he a doctor? Engineer, okay. Ooh, let's do you. Because this guy can get us a really nice engine. You were expensive, sir. Let's see, the Roser's Wharf is locked for us. We don't have Scintillac or unread logs. So we can use this free evening if we wanted to re-roll the Roser's Wharf, or we could spend that in London, let's see here, by carousing, which can get us some stuff that we want. So I might do that, actually. Let's see, we need to visit, actually deliver Sphinxstone. Let's go ahead and just do that. As you can see, we turned 200 echoes into 500, so definitely worth doing. Let's go and turn in our port reports. We have the command canal. Right, they don't give you fuel for this one, because it's not very far away. Salt lines gets you 1 fuel, 20 echoes, not too bad. Quaker's Haven. Okay. 5 echoes. And let's see, I think... Let's see, will it talk to us? Ah, he will. Okay, cool. So we can give him strategic information. Or we could get another one and turn it into vital intelligence. So I might do that. Is there anything in particular you would like? Wants information from Port Cecil. In the Principles of Coral, somewhere northeast of London. Well, you know what? We're going northeast, so let's see if we can catch that in our loop. That will get us the vital intelligence, and then we can get a lot of good stuff from that. So let's see. A merchant venture. You have a reliable agent. What do you want? You want something. Specific needs. Will pay much better than market prices, and you won't ask how you came by these things, okay? Something perilous. 7 Delphibone dice or 7 outlandish artifacts. That's pricey, but if I can get them. We are going to Mount Palmerston, so maybe we can do that. We have none of those things, and I think we want to carouse the docks. We are fortunate. We got recent news. Lost 10 echoes, that's fine. And, oh, here we go. We have romance. Okay, I am thinking... See, that night in Wolfstack, you find yourself sharing a table with a likely lass, a dapper chap, or someone whose name you do not recall. Now, selecting one of these two is important for getting into passing on a lot of more stuff to your next Z captains. Sorry, Z captains, not C captains. I'm going to go for a likely lass. She typically claims to be a spy. Whatever she is, she's easy to like, and when the evening ends, you're still together. Let's do it. The next morning, she gives you Peter Locket. As you reach for it, she grips it briefly in her fist. Don't you dare forget me, she says. We now have a locket with a likely last portrait. Okay, cool. So, I think we're going to check out the shipyard here. By which I mean the shops. Because I might... Let's see. That's not really worth the upgrade, going from 800 to 1,000 engine power. I'd like to hold out to get the Boadicea, which will almost double our engine power. The Serpentine is one that we can't buy. We can make it, and that's why we actually have this new officer here, which I totally forgot to install. So if we follow his quest, we can eventually get the Serpentine, and there's one of the better engines to have unless you have a big, heavy ship, because this increases your fuel efficiency in addition to being a pretty powerful engine. Alright, so let's see. Do we have any better guns we can buy? The Bandersnatch is a great gun, but it is forward, and we don't have one of those, and it uses actual ammunition you have to buy. Let's see. What do we have here? Forward, forward, forward. We already have that. Here we go. The Denunciation, 15 damage a pop. That's pretty good. Warp us 4 seconds. Now we have the Winnower, right? No, we have Reproach. 12, 12, 1, and 4. Okay. So this is a modest upgrade. I'm going to leave it on the table for now. And we might come back for it later, but it's not a huge increase. Let's see. Nothing to do here. We need 7 Death Button dice from Mount Palmerston if we can get it. Let's launch, guys. Let's do it. Oh, you know what? Let's buy fuel first, guys. Like I was saying. Always check. Okay, we need more supplies, too. Let's buy... We're about to go into 1, so let's buy 7 total. 14's a pretty safe number. But before we head out on our new journey, I think it's time that we call the episode there, because this could be a pretty long loop. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, my name has been Kurazarrh. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.